Yo, what's up, guys? Jens here, and it's AV weekend. And I was talking with a friend, and he was telling me 40-minute queues for AV. Go fucking nuts, boys. Just go grind that gear, have fun, and try to win. Because if you don't, you're fucked. Today I'm making this video. I'm gonna check out a few comments from my last video, the one I made yesterday. And but first, I need to give a huge shout out to Asmongold and Wowhead that finally came through and just talked about the issue. He talked about the BGQs yesterday, and his solution. I don't agree with the mercenary mode solution because I think it creates a whole new problem where the community perception then gets gets even stronger towards the horde, so people will transition to the horde in like phase 2, phase 3. But it is a solution. I think it just has more problems than any other than a faction change, for example, which is what I support. I support a faction change. This would actually help out the alliance with their numbers in terms of PvP, and even PvE. So it would actually be easier in some servers to to get groups going and all of that. It seems like it is an issue in some servers, and like I said yesterday, we need to like stay together in this fight of everyone having and enjoying, having fun and enjoying TBC. So if you just make a Horde to Alliance faction change at the moment, then later in RAT you can open up to both sides. But at least at the moment, I would say a Horde only faction change towards Alliance would be the way to go. And then people who complain, well, they had an option. The problem is that at the moment you don't have an option. Rolling from one or from a new account is just not an option, and if you say that to someone who just spent hours leveling, like spent hours gearing, spent hours getting everything like professions and all of that, and maybe already has some of the beast gear, like it's just not an option. Um, while the faction change, it is an option. You might have that gear and you might love the guild, but you want to PvP and you can't, and you now with faction change you can do that. So I'm gonna read some of the comments. I think some are really good, some are a bit worse. I made this video mostly to show the numbers. I didn't say, and I kind of did a disclaimer. I don't get some of the comments on this video. I just scanned through. I didn't really read them, and I'm gonna try to talk with the people that seem saying that I'm skewing the numbers and trying to like push my narrative. But let's check. Agreed, bro. As a dude who plays both, this weird faction war has me cringing hard. Yes, these are rate parses. Yes, I know. Horde is outnumbering the Alliance 2 to 1 or more globally. It's just proportionally. Alliance raids more and Horde PvP is more. Yeah, and I even said that. Now, there's no data unless Blizzard releases the data. There's no data that we can use. Now you say that Horde's PvP is more, and this is rate parse, and these are rate parses, and you're right. I'm not saying you're not, but I would argue then that even PvPers at the moment are doing PvE. With a 1 hour queue, would you just sit in the queues, or would you like go into Karazhan, try to, if you're a caster, get the dagger from the prince, or go to Gruz to get the weapon? Like, come on, everyone is raiding, even the true hard mode and fucking neckbeard PvPers are raiding. I don't see a lot of PvPers that are not raiding, and all you need to do is just queue a few arenas, and you will see it's mostly PvE gear because, yeah, you know, you don't have PvP gear. So, yeah, I would say the numbers are still pretty accurate. Like if you want to add some Jesus, if you want to add some more to the horde, like here it's 52, 53 to 47. If you want to add maybe 2 or 3% more, sure. It doesn't. Yeah. Great post, yo, que pasa? Thanks for the support yesterday on my stream. Very relevant. Yeah, the points are very relevant because you're hordes, but if you're an alliance, there's a discussion to be had that mercenary mode, for example, wouldn't really fix the problem because, or would fix the problem, but would create a new one. That's why over the last few hours, kind of, and few days, I transitioned by from asking to mercenary mode to ask for a faction transfer. But yeah, I play Horde on Nethergate Keep, and our queues are an hour long. Like your queues are the same as mine because it's one battle group, so it's everyone. To be honest, I like PvP more than PvE in WoW, but I choose the Alliance mostly because of lore. I have always been an Alliance fan. There you go. People don't choose their races solely on racials. And now you can say this towards the Alliance, but you can also say the same to Horde. Some people love Undead. Undead was the most, I think Undead was the most played race at some point, and then Blood Elves back in the day. And then Blood Elves came in really hot and they took their spots. It was something like that. I don't really remember because it was like 14 years ago, so don't take this with a grain of salt, but I think it was something like that back in the day. Like you don't always play for the ratios. Spot on, man. Thanks. Let's put a like. Gehenna's 57 to 43. I play Ali feels like more. It might be true. Gehenna's is a big PvP server, but you can't say this ain't correct because you get a feeling that it ain't correct, right? Like I play on Earthshaker. Earthshaker is an alliance heavy server, and this tells me that it's like 60 to it's something along the lines of 60 to 40 or something like that. I don't know if I can see it here. It's not showing here, or it might be one of these, but it's something along those lines, or 55 to 45. It's something like that. But then I go into turn off Kill Jaden and I only see Alliance. For me, it's almost like 80% to 20. Like that doesn't make it right though. I went Horde because 13 years ago my big brother played Horde and I have played it ever since. I deserve to be punished with 1 hour queues now for being Horde, right? This is the problem. Um, yeah, you don't. And Alliance doesn't deserve to be punished from being Alliance as well. Like no one deserves to be punished. Okay, I'm farming. Great post. Continue to. I really admire. I already read this. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I'm farming between 3k and 3.5k honor per day on Alliance side, and I'm not a tryhard either. Never been a pre-made since TBC. Yeah, 3.5k honor. It's actually huge if you're not like tryharding. I'm not even saying pre-made, but for example, you see that as 3.3k or 3.5k honor, and let's say you play like 4 hours a day because you're not a tryhard or anything, and you have to do other stuff or even less than that. Um, you also get the marks. Don't forget. I don't know if in this case you're counting the marks, so because at the moment you need to spend the marks in gear. But at the moment you don't really need, for example, Warsong Gulch marks. You can go in there, get some honor, get some marks, and then spend the marks for gear. So the values might even be higher than that. Like you don't even need to be in a pre-made to make 3 to 3.5k honor, and 3k honor seems really low because the items are like 20k, 15k, 17k. But but on the horde sides, it's the maximum you can get if you play all day. So I would guess that an alliance character that try hard um, player would get around, I don't know, one item a day, maybe more. Depends on if the alliance wins BGs, which lately it's happening. So not only because of pre-mates. Okay, I saw this. Yeah, it was. This video is so bad. Okay, this video is so bad. Way to try and skew to data and try to prove your point. I didn't skew to data. I even said it like a small disclaimer that I pretty much said that don't take this data too seriously. It's just the point of showing the data. It was just that to kind of prove a point that players make allegations that if you go to the forums and you hear people or you read what people write, you will think that Horde has like 80%, and that's simply not fucking true. It is not. So I went to the PV site. You could see the values of people raiding that log, by the way. Um, I didn't try to skew the data, but yeah. If you want this video to be even a bit credible, the first thing you need to do is filter just for the PvP servers in Europe. No, and one reason that that is not okay. So I get what you're saying, but you're not completely correct. Why? Because even on retail, the biggest guilds are usually on PvP servers. So the biggest PvE guilds. So by filtering the PvP servers alone and letting only the PvP servers, it wouldn't also be correct because there's PvE guilds in there. Now we can try this. What's this website? Uh, can I see it? Ironforge.pro. Okay, let's see that. It might be higher, and it's funny that as you okay, so it's 61 to 40%. All selected realms. Oh, I think America kind of fucks up. Yeah, 60 to 40%. Sounds about right. Now, the thing is, PvPers not always like PvP. Like it depends. I've known PvPers that don't really enjoy being in the PvP realm. As for me, I've always been in a PvP realm. I think always. Maybe the first realm when I started World of Warcraft and I didn't understand, maybe it wasn't. But since TBC or at least mid TBC, I was always in a PvP realm. But doing this doesn't show that the alliance in terms of PvP, it's because this is PvE data. And I did say Horde is more dominant in PvE as well, by the way. And the biggest guilds ain't the biggest guilds like on TBC Classic on PvP realms as well. And those guilds attract more people. Like there was, I don't know, I don't remember if I said this on this video, but back in the day, Nihilum was on Magdaridan, which was a PvP server, and that server was around 90 to 95%. So this, there's a few servers like this. Nope, doesn't seem like it. But it was 90% population from for hordes. Around 90%, 95%. It was something insane. And they were just PvEers. It was Nihilum. But yeah, like this doesn't show that this all of these horde players play PvP, and doesn't show that the whole of these alliance players play PvP. And even if this data it's only for PvPers, this differential of 20% or 10%, actually, right? You want a 50-50. This differential of 10% doesn't warrant 1 hour queue. Doesn't make it 1 hour queue. The problem is that all of these servers are connected. Now imagine, like I said, which probably would actually be a better fix than BGQs, but yeah. Now imagine that Firemaw, for example, would get with this Shazrad, which would get with Earthshaker, and then with another, like, I don't know, with this one, because it's not that many players. You know what I mean? Everything just balances out, and it's funny that there's pretty much a alliance only server, and there's also an but fewer players. But yeah, so I wasn't trying to skew the data, and by filtering this, it didn't prove much because there's not really like that much of a difference. And the players on PvE realms also PvP, by the way. That's you're pretty much assuming that players that are on the PvE realm don't PvP. And while maybe most of them don't forget that PvP gear in TBC is actually good. If you get the weapon, for example, the gladiator weapon, you do have like the third best in slot for most casters. So I think it's the third. It's like the third highest spell power at least. So I don't know. I don't know if it's that black and white, but yeah. Okay, I filtered. Let's keep reading. If you did this, you would see that there are 40 alliance. You're right. Versus 60%. Okay. So there are 20% more horde. No, there's 10% more horde than they should, because now you're giving the edge to the alliance, like I did at first. Um, mm, 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 on PvP servers, 20% more horde doing PvE than alliance. Yeah. Did I miss something? Imagine what the disparity is. Ah, okay. So you're saying there's 20% more horde doing PvE than alliance. Okay. I still don't. I first the 20% it's wrong because it should count as 50 and not assuming that the alliance should have the upper hand. So it's only 10%, and the 10% doesn't do what I said yesterday, which is like a 1 hour queue. That's not really the issue. Imagine what the disparity is for PvP. Well, I can imagine. I have 1 hour fucking queues, right? I can imagine that the disparity in PvP it's around 80 to 20%. That's what I imagine, which is weird because you do get a lot of good PvP gear from Honor. Let's see the answers. The video is great. Way to completely miss the point. Yeah, I don't think he did it on. I don't think Marlon Figueroa. I don't know. I don't know if I fucking butchered your last name. If I did, sorry, bro. But I don't think Marlon was like trying to miss out the point. I just think he tried to give his own point of view, which is also incorrect in terms of numbers because he's assuming the alliance should have more players, or that there are 20% more horde than alliance, which in numbers is true, but it's not true if you account to the 50% thing. So there's 20% more horde than they should. Adrian trying to fix the BGQ timers to make the game more enjoyable. Yeah, that's my goal by instead talking about PvE in UU. Yeah, this is not really about PvE. It's the video was about PvP. It's about BGQs, so it's about PvP. It's really sad to see people like you discredit something. I don't think he was trying to discredit. I think he just made the wrong math, to be honest. The math doesn't really make sense. And talking about PvE in a PvP video doesn't really make sense. Yeah, sure, Horde has more PvE players. I even said that on the video, didn't I? Um, mm, it's not sad when what you're saying because I personally believe it's just stupid. Well, no, it's not really stupid. What he said, it's right. Like if you go here and you filter the numbers, it's 60-40%, but the problem doesn't come from 60-40%. This like I think I say it on the video as well. I should have fucking seen the video, but the problem back in the day was like back in the day, sorry, it was worse. It was way worse even. So I don't know. Let's check my last PvP video as well. TBC biggest problem. I don't want to hear myself. Well, you described the problem perfectly yourself there. The only solution that won't be grossly unfair towards the Alliance would be faction changes, though. And you're right, bro. I changed since I actually made this video. I changed my idea, and the idea back then was mercenary mode or some sort of horde versus horde. It's wrong because it would increase the disparity. So we don't want to do that, and we want to keep the disparity at the lowest possible number. I also noticed that while you talked about faction imbalance, you didn't mention Alliance being outnumbered on PvP servers as a problem because I'm not Alliance. Like, okay, so this is this is a thing that saw, and someone also said it on the forums that I didn't mention Alliance being outnumbered on PvP servers or PvE servers or whatever. Like, if it doesn't really affect me directly, I'm not gonna look into the data. When my problem at the moment is BGQ. Now, if Alliance is indeed outnumbered, which it should because of numbers, it's outnumbered by hordes. The faction change would actually be a good thing if you restrict it from horde to alliance only. But yeah, I know I've kind of fucked up in that matter. I should have said that, but I didn't really look into the data, and people have been pointing out on the forums and all of that. But instead of going against a solution to the problem Horde has, people should bring that up, not going against the fix, just helping out in the fix. And this is why I think in this video I say, or one of the videos I say, that we should all be in this together, because we should. Because we Horde players, we just want this fucking problem fixed. Now, if Alliance has a problem in terms of being outnumbered, then they need to speak out, and they need to help us out with the solution. This is what being a community is, and people just forget that. That's a much bigger problem than what you're talking about. No, it's not. And the reason is, and your changes would make it worse. Yes, they would. That's why I changed it. Now, you're saying that Alliance being griefed on PvP servers, it's worse than not being able to even gear to PvP. Now, Alliance has an option on this one, which is transfers, right? It might be not the best option ever, like faction change won't be the best option ever. Let me just have a little bit of a drink. It might not be the best option ever for the Alliance, but you can transfer servers. You have an option. Right now, Horde doesn't have an option. And you can't talk about re-rolling from level 1 or from level 58 and lose everything you have on your character. Okay, that doesn't count as an option. So, said that, it's impossible to say that Alliance has it worse than Horde. Like, Horde players can't even play. You also have another option on those servers. The Horde players that are griefing players on those servers are probably not well geared in terms of PvP. All you need to do is make a fucking party, go into BGs, get some PvP gear, and while farming or on the Outworld or on the world, you just use PvP gear. That's what I do on my Warlock playing on Earthshaker because I get griefed all the fucking time. Okay? And I'm not here just saying that is a huge problem being outnumbered in a PvP server. Yes, it's annoying, but yeah, it's not worse than not being able to get into a BG. Come on. But I do agree. Faction change would actually be better than mercenary modes, which I think it was the mode I talked about it, and that's why I'm also making this video because I want to correct myself there after thinking for a while. So you're completely correct in saying that it would make it worse. Agree as a human. The forms are shitfest. Yes, I do agree. Imagine gatekeeping content for over 50% of the player base because Blizzard made bad decision to not release BGs when phase hit. I don't think it was a bad decision because the arena started when because then you have another problem. And when Blizzard announced that it was in phase 2, the arena season 1, people started to come out, and I was one of them saying, "Yo, bros, if you do this, we will have insanely OP weapons, PV trinkets, and this is not gonna go well with so low resilience in comparison to the further seasons, because everything in World of Warcraft in terms of PvP was taught according to the gear that would be available for that tier, if that makes sense. So, for example, a Deep Thunder wouldn't be overpowered, but like it is at the moment, but you would have Storm Heralds in season 1. It would hurt like hell. Okay, so that wasn't the problem. The problem is not really that one. The argument that Blizzard should not intervene because of player-made problems should be fixed by players, forgetting that every private server that had addressed it has helped tremendously, some even having more alliance than Horde. But let's not forget, but didn't those private servers give like insane XP rates and like insane buffs? I don't agree with that either. I think, I'm gonna keep raiding. But let's not forget that the game has been out only for 3 weeks. Drastic changes will take some time. Game was pretty much over when we got Chrono Boon. Let's hope it doesn't take that long though. Well, it will even out because players will quit, I think, and some players will get their full gear. So horde queues will eventually drop. The problem is when though. By the end of the season, I think like just a temporary change. I don't know if it was on this video or on the other. Just a like 1 month faction change would kind of fix the issue. Maybe not. Oh my god, this has so many comments. I'm not gonna read all of them, so I'm just gonna read like one more. You said it yourself. You need players to play against. Example: some people need to go alliance. Why not give ally the horde ratios? So more people would come play ally. Would this matter though? Like, would Horde change to alliance to play alliance with the racials they already have on Hordes? The racials are not the problem. The problem is the community perception, which is also a problem on retail. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna read more and I'm gonna say what I think it's the problem. The problem is that shit players think they can be great. And I'm not like bashing anyone, and they think that what's holding them back it's like races and gear and well, gear can hold you back obviously, but like races and like factions and whatever, like they find an excuse, classes, like they find an excuse in everything to not face the fact that they are dog shit. And this is true for many players. So what happens is you go into the ladder, to the TBC ladder or into retail ladder, you see the top 10 teams and you try to emulate specs like gear, everything they do, without considering the fact that everything they do is towards their playstyle and even comp. So let's say, for example, Raiko Raikou and Mir are like rank 1 in Europe, right? Let's say you're a mage, you go and emulate everything Raikou has. But instead of playing with a rogue, maybe you play with a feral, maybe you play with a red, maybe you play with a shadow priest, whatever. Probably not gonna work the same to you because you're not taking the lesson of learning for yourself. The problem is that community perception is that in order to do PvP and to get higher ratings in PvP or even to be a edgy raider, you need to be horde on TBC and you need to be engineered before they nerf the shit out of drums and you need this and you need that and you need shadow with boots or if you're an affliction or shadow priest because they are the best in slot until tier 6 when in the end it doesn't really matter because the bosses were made in order to be down by blizzards with the current gear without min maxing, even though TBC was really fucking sweaty back in the day. Now the only raid where you actually need to kind of min max it's Sunwell. You need consumables, you need to min max your gear, but until then there's no excuse to like do you really win anything being horde on Karazhan? Not really. Do you win or lose games because you're Horde or Alliance in PvP? Not really. I've said this yesterday. Like, the problem is the community perception of what's good and why it's good. And then it just blows out of proportion with the people saying that Horde has OP ratios. No, they don't. It's because the game first Blizzard when made TBC, you can see it. It was made to be fun and players suck the fun out of the game. It's so annoying actually watching or watching comments or seeing whatever people talking and like talking like TBCs you in order to finish the content in this game that you need to be sweaty. Like it's not true. I don't think there was like a hard raid until Cataclysm. Until then it was pretty much a breeze. And we were fucking dog shit back in the day. So today, with better players than back in the day, and the players that were like shit back then, now they are better, and with better internet connections, do you really need to be this sweaty? The problem is the community perception of what's good without understanding why it's good or why people are playing it. So yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like there's a huge I think this is a gaming kind of problem, a new type of gamer that just wants to be the best and wants to be like a streamer and wants to be a YouTuber. They want to make fucking guides so people learn. Like just enjoy the game. But and this game was made to be enjoyed. It wasn't really made so you could have if you're a Shadow Priest, you could have Shadow Weave setting like in the first 1 hour of being level or the first 10 minutes of being level 70. No, it was made to it even had a cooldown. It was made in order to so you could enjoy the game in a good pace, not really fucking breeze through it. But that's how people have fun in games today. Said that, and I just fucking lost my train of thought. But said that, I think faction change it's the best option. It doesn't hurt the alliance. Actually, helps them because you get more players, and it helps the horde players. Now, you might say that the faction change will like hurt some horde guilds, but to be honest, if you're hordes and you're complaining about BGQs and you want to be like a PvPer, and then they introduce faction change and you complain that you don't want to leave your guild or don't want to sacrifice anything, I think you're part of the problem as well because you're entitled. So right now I just want an option. And the option it's not to level, like I said like 3 times by now, it's not to level again, but a faction change. And with the faction change, it would actually help out the alliance, and horde players could shut the fuck up as well and just have an option. If you want to PvP, just go to the alliance, bro. It's easy. Now you have an option. Like if you're an alliance and you're in a PvP server that is dominated by Horde, just go to a PvP server that is dominated by alliance, or just talk with your guild and try to go as many as possible. You do have options. The problem is the lack of options at the moment. But I feel like this silence will bring good things. I just hope it's not mercenary mode, like I said a few days ago, and let's hope it's a good change. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like the channel, and yeah, peace. Oh, don't forget AV weekend. Fucking lose your life. Just stop your life. Kill fucking AV if you're Horde because you're gonna get a lot of honor, or well, half the honor Alliance gets. But yeah, don't go to the beach. Here in Portugal it's 30 degrees. I'm actually gonna be working, but if you're not working, just go fucking ham on AVQ weekend because it's the best weekend in order to get PvP gear. Said that. Peace, bros.